All right, looks like we're all, as many as we're gonna have today. So we'll go ahead and call our council meeting for May 8th, 2017. Call to order.
Kokavich,
Here.
Dixon.
Here.
Lyle. Here. Kerrigan.
Here.
Stevie. Here. Byer.
All right, so we have our majority here. If you would, please stand with me, and our President Council Robert will lead us into the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Start with the first item on the agenda, approval of minutes. Do we have an approval of the minutes from the April 10th, 2017 council meeting? Nobody is eager to move on the minutes.
I move we approve the minutes as distributed.
All right, we have an approval. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, so we have an approval by Dixon, second by Lyle, that we approve the minutes as distributed and dispense with the reading. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Looks like the ayes have it. Visitors, do we have any visitors tonight that would like to address council? All right, well, we appreciate our visitors being with us tonight. So if you feel at any point in time, feel free to interject.
Mr. Mayor, they must be bored.
Best entertainment factor in New Concord right here. So, yeah. Reports. We will start with our zoning officer, Rick Gates.
Yes, the high grass season started, and really I've been addressing the ones that are received complaints on, because I think everybody's behind in their grass mowing, and some of them having trouble getting started, so just really concerned with the ones where we get complaints and reviewing those. And again, 105 East Main Street, which was a problem last year in the village, mowed it a few times, and I've addressed with Charlotte to get the crew to mow it, because what it takes to get it really done, put on taxes. But I talked to about 10 different people on it, and the bank that owns it, the lady at the other end just really didn't care.
Okay.
But I addressed with letters and everything else with them, so. And I had another property I addressed with high grass. The neighbors are complaining, and I've called the gentleman several times, and he won't return my phone call, so we sent him a letter, and we'll keep after that. I know there's a few other homes that I drove around town today that have high grass, but I guess at this point in time with the rain and everything else going on, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt unless we get a complaint.
Okay.
So we'll proceed from there. 216 West Main Street, they started a project without a zoning certificate, and I contacted him and made every effort to meet the gentleman on Saturdays and Sundays, and I explained to him this past Saturday I wouldn't be in town, and that's when he called me.
Okay.
He just called me a minute ago, and now they promised they're going to call me tomorrow at 4:30, so I've sent them a letter and told them cease. And also they had the high grass issues down there too, so. If you notice the property, Ackerman property behind it, it's basically done, and they've put a new porch on it and painted it up and cleaned it up. Looks, I guess, as expected as you can for a house to look. I mean, it's a lot better. I think Tony Ackerman will be the grandson to Floyd, who actually lived there. I think when he retires, he's planning on moving back to New Concord. So. But he's going to keep on fixing it up as we go. So I guess, it looks pretty decent as we can go, so. I did address a lot of the landlords with some parking issues and high grass on Montgomery area. 111 Thompson, it's not listed there. They'd put a driveway behind their house, and I was addressing it with 109 and half Thompson, and he was having some issues, and I've addressed it with those people, them at 109 and 107 and 156, both actually have illegal parking, and I've addressed it with them and address other issues about broken windows and glass and mowing. And as I told him in the letters, the school is coming to an end. There's time for them to get their lots cleaned up and address how some of them look. So whether they do it or not, we'll we'll plug away with them.
Great.
And I just addressed something that was pointed out to me at 158 Montgomery. I guess on Jesse Enix's house. That's all what I know it as, where the Enixes live. They put up some Greek letters today, and I told the landlord they needed to come down immediately. Please get them down immediately. It saved me the headache of
Okay.
having to write letters and go through that process. I'd appreciate it, because having to go through some headaches. We write enough letters, so.
Okay.
Have any
And,
of the landlords responded?
Yeah, I talked to her on the phone.
Good.
So hopefully they respond. I told them they need to come down immediately. They
Oh, no, I
can't.
meant the parking issue letters that
You
you
gotta
sent out.
be kidding me, no.
Well, just checking.
We'll keep plugging away.
Okay, yeah, you're good.
We'll just keep plugging away, see where
Glad
we
it went
go.
out.
But they've been addressed about, especially the one landlord, the grass, they didn't mow last week, but they don't mow every week, and you just can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, people in Concord, like I said before, several times speaking before council, 99% of our people are excellent in this town. And it's just like the people that have 105 East Main Street, that bank, they really don't care about us. It's a shame to say. It's a shame those neighbors have to put up with something like that, so the village can get it mowed, so. I mean, the house beside me's been repossessed, I mow it. I get tired of arguing with that bank, and I mow it. I mow 3 acres. Takes me 4 hours when I start mowing. And I was mowing it the other day, and I broke my mower and had, so, but I'm gonna still mow it. It's a lot easier, a lot less headaches.
Yeah, we do that, yeah.
Yeah, a lot less headaches.
Yeah.
Pick up the trash and mow it, because I don't have to look at it, so. I have to pick up, and we addressed the letter 56 West High, the property's being sold, and he was under orders by the planning commission to pave his lot. He's in that 01 district, and me and Matt Wood met, and so he's gonna be paving his lot, fulfilling his obligation, because we explained to the people buying it and the realtor that if he didn't pave it and sold the house, they'd have to start the whole process over again to do a parking lot.
Okay. Perfect.
So that was addressed, of course, 212 is the Ackerman house, so.
Okay.
Zoning, we've been busy, so
All right.
we'll
Thank
plug
you.
along in the high grass and do the best we can about parking and trash, so.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Brent. I'll say we need to. We'll have to encourage people. It should be mow on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and keep up with the East End. A couple of us on the block go with that theory, it's a little competition in town.
Unfortunately, Brett, you live next to somebody who was as anal as my dad.
Exactly.
You know that. He was-
We keep one block looking.
I did not inherit
that.
that. But-
So, all right, thank you. Police Chief, Officer Dawson, if you'd like to, that'll soon be changing, so. Thank you.
We had, for the year, we had 275 calls for service. A correction, we had 275 calls for service for the month of April, which takes us to a total of 1,084 for the year. Our average call of service is 9.2. We wrote 20 traffic citations, handed out 32 traffic warnings, and we made 6 misdemeanor arrests. Currently, we did not make any felony arrests, but we do have several felony cases pending that we are in the process of working. Total citations for the year is up to 104, and warnings is 122. Broke it down to, we had 5 speeds, 4 driving under suspensions, 2 traffic control device, 6 expired registrations, and then we had 5 others, totaling up to 22. There were 4 parking citations written in the month of April. On the criminal side, we wrote 1 noise citation, 2 open containers. There was 1 assault, 1 theft, and we had 2 other criminal citations as well, totaling up to a total of 7. When it comes to criminal citations for 2016, when you compare it on the graph below, last year, the month of April had Muskie-Palooza, and we did have lots of citations to a lot of the kids up there. This year, they were actually pretty compliant with everything. They knew the order. We had a lot of officers out, so they were on their best behavior. So that's why you're going to see a major change in citations this year compared to last year. Drug abuse as well is one thing we would get through a lot of that. Calls and reports to traffic crashes. There was 5 crashes in the month of April and 1 private property crash. There were 11 noise complaints and 4 trash and 2 thefts. Citation-wise, we had a slower month compared to last year, but like I pointed out, most criminal citations from last year were from Muskapalooza. This year, for the most part, all the students were very respectful and mindful of their actions. Muskapalooza was on April 22nd, and we had a very good coverage for the village in the event. We had upwards of 6 officers at one time working on foot and patrolling in vehicles during the event, and there were no major incidents to actually report during the time. Drug Take Back and the Western Days Festival was held on the 29th. Both were severely hindered by the wonderful weather that we had that day, and given the circumstances, they were still pretty successful. We're looking to have our bike radio for the village sometime around the end of June to the beginning of July. We are going Wednesday to pick up the helmets that were donated, and details for that we're planning on working out this week. And then currently, as you all know, we are short 1 officer, but we are still continuing to have 24-hour coverage. The department is still running as smoothly as possible given the circumstances.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions for police?
Soon to be Chief Dawson,
Yeah.
are we using much overtime, if any, with the?
Normally, we are going to be 2 officers will get each week about 4 hours, and that should be it. This week was an exception. I was away on training down in London, and then we had some officers that had some previous vacations scheduled. So we did exert some more overtime for this last pay, but it should not be that much at all from here on going out.
On average, about 4 hours total a week, you think?
4 hours an officer, so there's going to be 8 total
8
per
total
week.
hours, okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
they're splitting a shift for 12 hours.
Okay.
So they're, instead of doing 8, they're going to do 2 officers will do a 12 to cover it, so it'll be 4 apiece.
Okay.
And we can assume you're gonna be a little stretched until we get a chief in place.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of extra stuff that I've taken on. So I mean, my patrol time beforehand was always on the street while the chief was in the office and handling other duties. Well, that's kind of taking both of them on and trying to get caught up with everything. So yeah,
We appreciate you stepping up. Thank
not
you.
a problem. Not a problem at all. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you. If that's all the questions. Fire Chief, Brent.
Month of April, we did 22 fire calls, bringing our total to 72 for the year. An auto fire, nothing out of the ordinary, and was able to handle all our calls for what we did. So, on the EMS side, busy as ever, 96 runs, 60 transports, 212 year-to-date transports. We're starting to catch up to last year. Some of our numbers are starting to catch up. Even though we enjoyed being behind, we're starting to catch up, which is scary. So we started out the month of May busy also. So just keeping busy as always, doing all our normal stuff we do, training and everything else. We're getting ready because if you remember right, we changed our pay scale. We're getting ready to make all our firefighter 1 stick to firefighter 2 class. So we'll be busy with it, credentialing all of our people up to the highest level which we can in the state, with everybody that works part-time. So we'll be working on that. Association, I can tell you from emails, communications, they've been working on the Fireman's Festival. And I think May the 19th is when they're planning on doing Fill the Boot to raise money for the fireworks. So very honest with you, I ordered them today, and the association will actually pay for the fireworks next week. So that's how far in advance it. So we had to work. I secured them later on, but we confirmed everything else is because we actually have to get them paid several months in advance to be able to secure that. So, but the May 19th, they're
May 19th,
planning.
what day of the week is that?
That's a Friday.
Weekend? Friday? Okay.
Friday, yeah.
What time will you be out?
They'll like it noon to 6, noon to 7. Yeah.
Okay, perfect, perfect.
Yep. I think the plan is for association. So,
Okay.
of course, I'll help support that. Other than that, we assisted with several other events, but like he said, it rained, which didn't hurt my feelings. I'm sorry, but got behind on mowing grass, but that was. And I think Monday night, this coming Monday, May 15th, just so you know, National Nursing Home Week, and fire department always does stuff to support the back of the house. As we call them, they're an internal customer of the fire department. We do a lot for them, and they do a lot for us. So we'll be up there on Mondays helping them celebrate National Nursing Home Week. Where they kick off, they make a pretty big deal for it and release balloons and everything at 9 o'clock in the morning on Monday, May 15th. Other than that, business as usual, we stay busy.
Any questions for Chief Gates? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor's correspondence, I'll try to keep mine brief. I would like to just thank all the village staff and departments for keeping things up and running as well as they do in a normal circumstance. And I know this weather has been a little trying for all our events. One being the Let's Pick It Up New Concord Day. Concord did a fantastic job at giving the volunteers they had that day. I know it was just a little short, cool, rainy morning, but we still picked up some trash. And the Western Days was another rain event. As the police mentioned, the Take Back Day, but just a lot of things that it's not for lack of effort and trying. Weather doesn't always cooperate and make them as successful as the people that plan them and go to a lot of effort would like to see them. But they still, people are able to participate. There's something out there for our community. It's always still good to see that. So I just want to thank everybody for that. And as you'll see on down in here where Officer Dawson being interim chief will be implemented. Thank you for your time and taking that role. I know that was not, unexpected. So something that appreciate your stepping up to that role. It's what keeps New Concord functioning well, and I think the couple weeks ago was a good representation with staff out, with officers out on the ground, and things were as quiet as could be expected for that weekend, and that's a good thing. So, quiet, peaceful. Citations can be down, don't care, as long as everything's quiet. It's all good. So appreciate everybody for that. So I'll move on from there and go to Fiscal Officer Lynn.
Thank you. The fund report balance at the end of April was $656,098. Income tax revenue year-to-date totals $350,718, and that reflects an increase of $1,627 year-to-date this time last year. So Debbie's pretty much all caught up with income tax, so we are pretty well in line with exactly where we were last year at this time. And expenses in April were just routine expenditures. That's all I have this evening.
All right. Any additional questions for Lynn? We'll hear a little bit more about that in the financial report too, where we're at. If not, thank you, Lynn.
Thank you.
Move on to the administrator, Charlotte.
Thank you. So our water and wastewater treatment plants were busy for the month of April. Our water production was 6,756,000 gallons, and our wastewater flows were 10,682,000 gallons. We had some heavy rains at the beginning of the month. You'll see in the chart below in my report, the orange color shows how much wastewater flows we have running through the plant. So because of the high rains, we did have a lot of flows early on in the month, but it kind of ticked down a little bit towards the end of the month into May. As far as our operations department goes, they've been busy reading meters for the May water and sewer billing, mowing village property and right-of-ways, trying to keep up with the grass growth, and also they've been working really hard to get everything ready for pool opening. So that's something that they've been up there trying to get things cleaned up. We want to thank Muskingum University again for all the work that their students did to help us spruce up the pool, and they've been continuing to finish up the mural on the pool building. It looks really nice, and it's really going to add a lot of character to the pool, so we're excited to open things up and get folks up there this year. As far as some major projects, we have a groundwater storage tank replacement project happening this summer. So tonight we talked about Bids, we opened bids on April 19th. The village received 1 qualified bidder for the tank. We had 5 qualified bidders for the water line component of the project. And we are going to be asking for acceptance of the lowest and best bids this evening. The village will also be talking about a cemetery acquisition and annexation. The new Concord Cemetery Board has been working with the village and trying to get everything turned over. That will include an annexation. We're going to be speaking about that tonight. The policy committee's already went over that a little bit. And so staff are working to prepare a draft of cemetery bylaws and make sure that we understand everything that's been going on from the cemetery board's point of view, so that everything transitions over smoothly once that dissolution occurs and everything works well together. The 2017 block party went really, really well. It was on April 20th. We had a decent number of people out. We were able to close Main Street with no major issues, and I think that everyone had a great time with it. The rain held off until the last 15 minutes of the event, so overall it was a really good event, and I'd like to thank everyone who was involved and who participated and came out. So those are the big things that we've worked on or are working on right now. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Appreciate, I forgot the block party. How could I forget that?
Did you forget?
I was down participating, listening to the country music, so, the band, it was good. Thank you, Charlotte. Any other questions? We'll move on to Finance Committee. Steve.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Finance Committee met. I believe everyone at the table was there, so I'll go as quickly as I can. We have 4 ordinances and resolutions to act on, and the first 2 deal with the bids for the water storage tank, contracts A and B. These were very specialized, and there's only about 1 company who could do the water tank, and we bid that out, and it came in under the estimator's estimate, and so we're recommending we accept that big bid. But for the water line, we bid it out to the world, and we had 5 bidders, and we have a low bidder to bring forward to you, and it was approximately $50,000 under the estimate, so we would recommend that for Resolution 517-3. And then for the water tank, it would be Resolution 517-2. We also have before you an ordinance E517-1 that would be the appointment of Mr. Jeff Dawson as interim police chief, and we would ask your approval there. And then we had a salary ordinance for a new plant operator position, and this is a little fluid and murky. Not murky, just fluid, because we don't really know where we're going. The person we thought took the job called at 10 this morning and turned the job down, and we're dealing with a couple of other people that we think may be able to work out. We're checking with our water plant operator to see where we're there. And we have an adjustment, a small adjustment downward in proposed salary there with some other conditions for continued employment. And that ordinance is E517-2 that we would ask you to vote yes on. We had a discussion about redoing the front hall renovations of Village Hall, because we've got some structural problems and possibly some safety problems, and we're gathering more information, and we're headed forward on that, but have no legislation at this time. And then we received a first quarter financial comparison report, and we seem to be right in line with all of our projections at this time, but we're all a little concerned because we've got some unanticipated expenses that we're heading into. So, anything else from any of the other members that I didn't cover? I expect you all to vote yes, because you had a chance in committee. Thank you. I have nothing further.
All right. Any Other questions for Steve? Thank you, Steve. Infrastructure, Robert.
Thank you, Brett. We did meet this evening, and Charlotte and Steve just made my report a little easier, because they both already reported on the acceptance of the bid for the ground storage tank and both contracts A and B. And we did discuss the renovations on the front of the building upstairs, the office area, and going to do just a little more research on that before we make any final decisions on that. The only other thing we discussed tonight was the ODOT's road salt purchasing contract. This is the time of year we have to be ordering our salt for next winter. Seems odd to be thinking of it this soon, but we do have to reserve our amount of salt to make sure we get what we need for the winter. We do still have a large supply from last winter, so our purchase will be down somewhat this year, but we do still have a certain amount we have to get, so we're in the process of getting all that figured out. Other than that, that's all we discussed tonight.
All right. Thank you, Robert. Any additional questions for infrastructure? All right, thanks. Policy. Bill.
Okay, thank you, Brett. Policy met to discuss a number of items. The police chief position description and advertisement, and a subcommittee of that is working through that so that we can figure out exactly what we want that to look like. And we'll be meeting again this week. We also, and Charlotte's already spoken about this, approved the annexation of New Concord Cemetery land so that the village can take over control of that, and that is that's being voted on tonight, and ordinance G717-1. We met with Friendship Gardens people, the people starting a community garden, and they've also met with a couple of other organizations, and they seem to be on their way. They've got a piece of land that is generously shared with them by Muskingum University, and College Drive Presbyterian Church and the United Methodist Church have also come in to be partners with them, and so they're really up and going on that, and that's a great thing for the village. Other things related to policy tonight, in old business, we have the second reading of our nuisance party ordinance. We have had some feedback and some different perspectives and some thoughts on that and possible changes. We'll meet one more time before the third reading to consider whether some changes should be made. But we will, we intend to have that on the next council meeting for that final reading. So people who do still have thoughts and want to share them with me or other members of the committee or with Charlotte, those are welcome. But that will be our second reading, and there'll be a third reading next month. That, I think, is everything for policy for tonight.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Any additional questions for policy? Thank you. If not, that'll move us into old business. As Bill talked, we still have one piece up for second reading on the old business is ordinance, excuse me, C-6-17-1, establishing an ordinance regulating nuisance parties in the village of New Concord. This is the second reading. We have a move on the second reading.
So moved.
So moved by Lyle. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Stevie. Roll call on the second reading.
Lyle?
Yes.
Stevic?
Yes.
Kokavich?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Kerrigan?
Yes.
All right, second reading passes. Thank you. We'll move on to new business. So new business, ordinance E-5-17-1, an ordinance to authorize the proper village officials to appoint an interim police chief and to establish a salary and declaring an emergency. Do I have a move on the emergency?
Second.
All right, moved by Kokavich, second by Lyle on the emergency. Roll call.
Kokavich?
Yes.
Lyle?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Kerrigan?
Yes.
Stevic?
Yes.
And now the ordinance.
Move that we pass the ordinance.
Second that.
All right, moved by Kokavich, or moved by Lyle, second by Kokavich. Thank you. On the ordinance, roll call.
Lyle?
Yes.
Kokavich?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Kerrigan?
Yes.
Stevic?
Yes.
All right, the ordinance passes. Thank you. Ordinance E-5-17-2, an ordinance amending ordinance E-11-16-1 to establish salary ranges and wages for employees and officers of the village for the period 7/1/16 to 6/31/17 and declaring an emergency. Do we have a move on the emergency?
So moved on the emergency?
Moved by Kerrigan. Do we have a second?
A second.
Second by Dixon. Roll call.
Kerrigan?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Kokavich?
Yes.
Lyle?
Yes.
Stevic?
Yes.
All right, and now the ordinance.
Move on the ordinance.
Moved by Dixon,
Second?
second by Kerrigan. Roll call.
Dixon?
Yes.
Kerrigan?
Yes.
Kokavich?
Yes.
Lyle?
Yes.
Stevic?
Yes.
All right, ordinance passes. And that was for the plant operator salary that Steve talked about based on contingency of hiring. So, all right, ordinance G-7-17-1, an ordinance accepting the annexation of 6.06 acres from Union Township, Muskingum County, Ohio, to the village of New Concord, Ohio, following the procedure of annexation of land and consent of all parties. And this is the first reading.
So move on there.
Moved by Dixon. Do we have a second?
Second?
Second by Kerrigan. Roll call on the first reading.
Dixon?
Yes.
Kerrigan?
Yes.
Kokavich?
Yes.
Lyle?
Yes.
Stevic?
Yes.
All right, first reading passes. We'll move on to Resolution 517-1, a resolution authorizing participation in ODOT winter contract 018-18 for road salt and declaring an emergency.
So
We have-
moved on the emergency.
All right, move on the emergency by Stevie,
Second?
second by Kerrigan. Roll call.
Stevic?
Yes.
Kerrigan?
Yes.
Kokavich?
Yes.
Dixon? Lyle?
Yes.
Now the resolution.
So moved on the resolution?
I second that motion.
Moved by Kerrigan, second by Stevie. Roll call.
Kerrigan?
Yes.
Stevic?
Yes.
Kokavich?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Lyle?
Yes.
All right, resolution passes, thanks. Resolution 5-17-2, a resolution authorizing the village administrator to accept the lowest and best bid for the groundwater storage tank replacement project. This is contract A and declaring an emergency. Do we have a move on the emergency?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Lyle, second by Kokavich. Roll call.
Lyle?
Yes.
Kokavich?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Kerrigan?
Yes.
Stevic?
Yes.
Now the resolution.
Move on the resolution.
Second.
Moved by Kokavich, second by Lyle. Roll call.
Kokavich?
Yes.
Lyle?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Kerrigan?
Yes.
Stevic?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Resolution passes on that. We'll move on to the second part of this. Resolution 5-17-3, a resolution authorizing the village administrator to accept the lowest and best bid for the groundwater storage tank replacement project, contract B, and declaring an emergency.
So moved on the emergency?
Second.
So moved by Kerrigan, second by Dixon on the emergency. Roll call.
Kerrigan?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Kokavich?
Yes.
Lyle?
Yes.
Stevic?
Yes.
And now the resolution.
So move on the resolution.
So
Second?
moved by Dixon, second by Kerrigan on the resolution. Roll call.
Dixon?
Yes.
Kerrigan?
Yes.
Kokavich?
Yes.
Lyle?
Yes.
Stevic?
Yes.
All right, thank you. I think that'll be an exciting time in July to see a new water storage tank.
Yes.
Something that's been in place for virtually 100 years.
Yes.
So hopefully it outlasts everybody at this table. This group doesn't vote on it again, so.
Even with our institutional history, nobody remembers what it was like before that.
Exactly, exactly. So we'll go on the last one on the agenda here, resolution
That's not.
517. Oh, we tabled this one.
We tabled that.
All right, hey, there we go. So you caught up on that, I appreciate that. The approval of bills.
I move we pay the bills.
All right, we have a move, do we have a second?
I'll second. Oh, go ahead, Aaron.
So we have a move by Dixon, second by Stevie, that we pay the bills. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Chief?
I forgot, I want to remind Bill, by the next council meeting, the 90 days I wrote allowed the food trailer expires, so Either we have to put,
We need to meet.
you can put a resolution allowing it to continue
Yeah.
to such an ordinance as wrote, that we need to make sure we put that on the agenda. I forgot to.
Right, right. So the survey that we've been
Yeah.
posting, it ends on the 12th. So we'll take that information and bring it back to the policy committee.
They just need to pass a resolution because it's out of my hands at this point, so
Right.
it's gonna take your approval now.
Thank
A
you.
vote of council, so you remember, it's gonna take a vote of council in the June meeting.
Thank you for being on the ball.
Okay?
And Charlotte, you said the survey is still up on the website till May 12th?
On May 12th.
Okay.
Yes,
So for the public, the survey's still out there to participate and give your opinion. So, all right. So let's look at the announcements. So we have a planning commission meeting Thursday, May 25th at 6 p.m.
That was canceled.
That was
canceled.
That was
Yes.
Is
canceled.
that one canceled?
Sorry,
All right.
forgot to tell you that.
Scratch. That, New Concord area pool opening, Friday, May 26th at 10 a.m. Still on?
Yes,
Everybody
it
pray
is.
for sunshine, warm weather on May 26th. Our next council meeting, we will be here Monday, June 12th, 2017 at 7:30 and celebrate, so it'll be the next day, but we'll go ahead and announce it here. Celebrate New Concord season kicks off with Dave, was that Shaneball? Is that Shane? Shoeball, yeah. Big band, and that is Tuesday, June 13th, right at 7 p.m. in our village park. Always a great venue to come out and listen to that. Be their first and third Tuesdays each month for June, July,
Yes.
and August. All right. Schedule is on the website. Is that safe to say yet?
It will be.
The schedule-
It will be.
The dates are on
The
the
date,
website.
okay.
The bands are not quite on it.
All right.
But they're booked.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
All
we'll
right.
we'll make sure we get it up there.
Okay. All right. We have anything else miscellaneous we need to talk about?
Just like to add one more thank you. The Stag Club went out to the reservoir last week and did a lot of clearing of the trail, cutting back the multiflora rows and getting the trail ready for good weather. So thanks to the Stags for their hard work. And some high school students also came out, I would say. It was actually a number of community members, and Drew Hansen was out there with the chainsaw, and so it was a good project.
Good deal.
No, I appreciate that. And one other thing I forgot, I'll think of things as they go on, but we would want to congratulate, 300 plus of the Muskingum University students graduated.
Including our cameraman.
Oh, hey,
Marty
sweet.
Burns.
I think that's, that'll deserve a round of applause there.
Look smarter.
Yeah. So we have all those future Muskies with their life spent in New Concord heading out into the world. And then we will have, coming up at the end of the month, before our next council meeting, will be the John Glenn High School will be graduating. So we want to wish all those young people future success and all that. And I think we went, the prom, John Glenn High School prom was this past weekend. That was, always wish those have safe seasons. And all with the graduation and parties. So we just wish everybody a safe and happy summer here. So with that, do we have a motion that we go into executive session to discuss personnel?
I move we go to executive session.
All right, we have a move by Dixon. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Second by Lyle. All in favor of that? That's an all in favor vote. Correct? Say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. I think everybody, the ayes have it. So we will adjourn, go into executive session, but we have nothing pending coming out after that, correct?
Anticipated decisions or legislation afterwards.
So, all right. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.